his microphone. I'm going to kick it off with Mr. Ray.
What's up, Ray?
Ray, tell us who you are for the folks who don't know you. Who are you? Your marketplace. Give us your life history briefly.
Right, so I was born weighing 11 pounds.
Traditionally to this day.
Correct. So I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. I serve kind of the Central Arkansas location. I've been in real estate since, well, officially licensed since 2007, but took a brief hiatus when the market crashed around me as a newbie. Came back in 2013, reactivated a residential real estate license, and have been going nonstop ever since.
All right, Ray, where can these folks connect with you online?
So best place is probably Instagram right now, at Ray, R-A-Y, Zorback, Z-O-R-B-A-C-K, as in Woo Big City.
Nice. Thank you,
If
Ray.
you're not a fan of Arkansas Razorbacks, you should be.
How many of you guys want to see us shave Ray's beard today?
Yeah!
He's into it. He was like, I can do it, right?
No, I did not say
All right, you can toss the mic down. Tell us who you are, your life story, all the details.
My name is Sandra Pike, and I live in Halifax, Nova Scotia, so that's just up from Boston. I've been in real estate since July 2010. My market has been horrible. Since 2012, I've been operating in a market between 10 to 16 months of inventory. But I didn't let that stop me. I really persevered, and in 2014, I did 73 transactions myself, and at the end of the year, that's when I tried to start a team. And made a lot of mistakes since then, and truly this year has been a year of intent for me with my team. Last year, we had a great year. We have 5 agents, we have 3 part-timers. We did 167 deals at 1.1. My market is about, last year it was sitting at $285,000 for our average house price. So this year has been extremely trying for me. My rock star agent fell in love and moved to a different province. It's been a hard year. We just hired 2 new rock star agents who are absolutely killing it. And they just started, one started in March, the other started in June, and I have 2 seasoned agents. We are at 104 deals year to date, and we sit at 862. So it's been a lot of changes, a lot of ups and downs, but nothing that we can't get through. And it's too funny, we talk about challenges in real estate. My big challenge is now that I'm in a balanced market, and I've never worked in a 6-month inventory. So that's been really hard for me this year because I'm used to, again, between 10 and 18. So it's been a different year for me this year in real estate. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Deals and Deals and Halifax Realtor.
Check out those shoes.
Because where I am, I moved to Halifax and I started real estate when I was 40. And I didn't know anybody from the town of 400,000 people. And Halifax is not who you are, so you know, and I knew 0 people. And I don't have any children, and I didn't know how to connect with millennials. So I adopted the Deals and Deals strategy, so when I'm selling a house or buying, it's a brand new pair of shoes, and for me to go out into the community, oh, you're that Deals girl, that Deals and Deals girl, and it's so nice, and that's how I'm recognized in the community. And it was a great way for me to connect with women, especially younger millennials who I had no contact with. So I guess that's really my business in a nutshell, in Tom Ferry. In 2013, November is when I made the decision that in January that I would be starting Tom Ferry. And I've been with them now for 4 years, and my business has grown 26% each year. So I really attribute that, coming here this week and the 33 things, I've had a list, and like my head is just in a swivel. So I'll be doing what I'm doing in Dunmore when I get home on Saturday. So I'm going to give the mic to you now, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Tell us all about yourself. And show us those shoes, Mike.
Can anyone tell that I'm not a millennial? But I need a favor. My name is Mike Renick. I'm based on Longboat Key, Florida, which is a barrier island right outside of Sarasota. It was also the direct path of Irma last year. So we're recovering from bad real estate sales. I'll tell the story later, but some good things. Eric, stand up. He's the second half of the Team Renick, so that's the 2 of us that are doing this. Now, if I share something today and you find interesting and you want further discussion, I want you to reach out to me, but I need a favor. If you go, Jason doesn't know I'm going to do this. If you go to Team Renick on Facebook, last night at dinner we hit 94,000 likes. I'd like to add 2 more thousand right now if we can. And that will give you a connection to Eric and myself in terms of if you have questions or need help. But Renick is R-E-N-I-C-K. I don't know if it's up on a chart. I think it is. But if you would like that page, it would mean a lot to me. I'm a second generation. What I mean by that is I had 31 years in at General Motors. I was an IT guy, the kind of guy you put in a closet, you slide the assignment under the door, the assignment comes back out, and you don't let them interface with people. If that kind of a person can go into real estate and become successful, and someone thinks that Eric and I are, last year, we were independents for 8 years. Last year, 4 national brokerages came after us. We merged with Keller Williams on the water, and we're very proud. Allergies are catching me, I apologize. We're very proud to be a part of that organization. So we've gone from being broker owners to being teams within Keller Williams, but the nice thing about that is we were allowed to carry our strategies forward. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. But if you would do one thing, one last time, if you would like the Team Renick Facebook page, it would be huge. And throughout the day, the next hour, all of us will share kind of what we do.
Love it. Awesome. Hey, Mike, why do you have the microphone? If you could just give us a sense for your production, I think it's important that everybody knows what level of success are you having in terms of running search and social ads and so forth.
Now,
Walk us through. Go ahead. Mike's yours.
when you're over 60, you don't remember everything. So I wrote this down last night. Jason told us it was coming. So last year, as we were starting to shrink the team down to the 2 people we have today, we sold $23 million worth of real estate. It was 32 deals, and it's about a GCI of about $700,000. We lost the last 3 months of last year because of the hurricane. Nobody came down to buy after the hurricane was supposed to go through. So this year, through July, we have 30 deals already, 15.7 million on the books, and about 400,000 GCI. So we're looking for a banner year. And we did it. Here's what I'm really proud of. We were Zillow, Realtor, and Trulia, and we had to walk away from all of that because the pricing changed and the business case didn't work. We are 100% pay per click in social media, and our numbers are going up.
Nice. All right.
This
There's
stuff works.
So real quick, let's get some context. I, Stick You, and Ray, tell us about your production, just so we have a sense about your business.
Let's see, last year, that's when I really started doing a lot of the social media stuff and video and all that. I sold 95 properties. We did about 16.7 million. It's around 477,000 GCI.
Nice.
This year to date, I cheated a little bit, but I'm at 22 million and 647,000 in GCI with 101 closed.
What do you mean you cheated?
I opened the brokerage.
Tell us more.
So I spent a long time last year really looking at systems and processes and what was working for us and what we were doing on social media. And so this year, we decided in February, actually we decided in January, we launched it in February to start our own brokerage. It's called Pixel Properties. And we knew it was going to grow pretty quickly. We had some agents that were kind of interested, but we didn't know how fast it would grow. So last week, we actually opened our second location, and we have 22 agents. We had 4 that just joined us a couple of weeks ago, and we have another one joining us next week. So it's grown really, really quickly, all because of the services we're providing on the social side.
Yeah, and by the way, just plugging you guys, your Instagram, they do a killer job on Instagram. You should check out what Pixel Properties is doing, how you're incorporating the agents. It's really good stuff. Just pushing that a little bit for you.
Thank you.
Pixel Properties.
Pixel Properties.
Say it again.
Say it again.
Pixel Properties. You don't have to say it Arkansas. We just have Pixel Properties.
We'll be everywhere soon. We'll get back to it. All right. So here's the first question. So listen, these people were handpicked. These 3 are absolute rock stars. They're crushing it. I think we're probably going to talk the most about Facebook today, I would guess, based upon our little cursory conversation. But they are all 3 crushing it in terms of using social media. So we call that organic social media, right? Organic is when I'm not paying to use social media. media, I'm just posting, I'm using my page, my profile. All three of them are crushing it there. They are also crushing it on a paid front in terms of they're sharing their content through boosted posts and ads on Facebook. Some Google, like Micah, for instance, is doing some Google PPC. And so these three have been handpicked. What we're going to do next is we're going to dive into, I'm going to just let you guys talk for a little bit. Let's start with Mike, too. Mike, I want you to just give us the 30,000-foot view in terms of what is your strategy with respect to Google, Facebook, and your digital strategy.
If we go back yesterday and today to some of the things that Tom has shared, we need to have multiple channels to get leads. Does that make sense? But the key to me is after you have those channels is how you manage leads. And we're, I believe, on some leading edge stuff, and we may have some time to talk about a little bit later. But basically, we farm an area where we both live, and we're crushing it there. And we actually, I guess I just thought of this, but we have a Facebook page, a Facebook group. If anybody is farming, we created a private Facebook group for our residents, and where I live is a second home community for most folks for the snowbirds. I live in Florida, like I said. And a lot of our residents are 70, 80, and 90 years old, and we probably have 3/4 of the people in our association are members of that Facebook group, and they love it. So that's a huge thing to take social to the next level. So when we look at, we do the farming, but then we do the pay-per-click. And here's my opinion and my expertise of how you do pay-per-click. You hire somebody that knows what they're doing, and that's what I did. The algorithms and the bidding and the complexity and all that.
Can we define pay-per-click just so everybody knows, like when we say PPC, what does that mean?
You put an ad out on Google. So someone does a search for Longboat Key real estate, and depending on some kind of bidding and all kinds of stuff I've never got into, my name, my website could pop up. And based on that, then they start their search. So I get a lot of links through that. I have a very good company that does that for me. And then in addition, I do a lot of Facebook work. And Tom talked about this morning of doing 4 videos a month. Well, we do 4 videos a week. And we do some broadcasts that are scheduled ahead. I have software that I use. So every morning I've been out here, we've had a 9 a.m. broadcast scheduled back in Florida. What time is it in California? At 6 a.m. You need to be ready, so you're up at 4:30 a.m. So we've done a show every day, and here's the key. Gary Vee says it well, Tom Ferry says it well. All the coaches talk about providing content, something that's interesting. Tom went through a whole list today. There's more things. You're all real estate agents, or probably almost all of us are. You know how the buy process works. You know how the sell process. I have a buyer's page and a seller's page on my website. In addition to outlining the processes, we've created videos for each step. So this morning, I interviewed a real estate attorney based out of Sarasota, and we talked about why title insurance should be a consideration for the buyer, a serious consideration. We talked to mortgage people as we do interviews. We talked to insurance folks. Living on a barrier island, insurance issues are much different than they are in the mainland part of Florida, and back where I'm from in Michigan. So when you can produce content, now here's, in my mind, the best content is speaking from the heart. What we talk about is I don't have a professional videographer. We don't have elaborate music. I don't have special lighting, but we will shortly. But it's really telling the story of what we do. And we created for the island, Longboat Key, a webpage called ourlongboatkey.com. And I partnered with one of the local newspaper publishers, and we produce content, newsworthy content. We interview the who's on the island. What we're doing is telling the story of Longboat Key from the folks that play, live, and work on that island. So we're getting lots of folks that keep coming back and seeing us. Now, every Facebook Live I do, 4 or 5 days a week, I actually boost it on Facebook after the video, the live session's over. I upload my database once a month, and I boost it to that audience. So I'm constantly, I have about 17,000 clients in my database. I'm constantly in front of those folks, and they're seeing the content. In addition, we do a lot of email marketing, but from a high level, it's always being out there. It's establishing a rapport, having them believe that they can trust you. Tomorrow we're going to do a live Facebook show, and I'm going to share my views on what I think you should go through when you hire a real estate agent. What am I really doing? I'm sharing the approach that Eric and I use with our clients. And then they can tell from that if we're the kind of agents that they want. You know, you heard the Walmart example today. Well, we use a Walmart and we use the Tiffany approach. And we try to provide a more boutique upscale. We talk about that kind of stuff and why it's important. But what this does, it allows you to reach directly to your prospective clients without going to newspapers and postcards and a lot of those kind of things that don't work. So a lot of times, just 2 more minutes, new agents will come out to our office, St. Keller Williams, and they don't know what they're in for. They want to learn about Facebook. Not one of them is allowed to leave until they do their first Facebook Live. We've created some monsters. We had one woman, she's in her 50s, was out with me last week, and I've seen 6 Facebook Lives from her since I've been out here. You can't stop. So those of you that have not done a Facebook Live, just do it. It doesn't matter what color your hair is. You know, mine's gray, so it's proving I'm not a millennial. It doesn't matter, all kinds of stuff. They know what we look like. Get that first one done, and then start working on content, and more content. Does that make sense?
Makes good sense. Thanks, Mike, for sharing your strategy. Hopefully you guys took a lot of good notes, lots of good stuff. Sandra, take a few minutes, walk us through the 30,000-foot view of how Sandra does social media, digital, everything.
Okay. So Tom today talked about...
Hold the mic close to me.
Sorry. So today Tom talked about Hootsuite, and I've been using that program for about 6 years, and it's very instrumental in my business. So initially when I got into real estate, again, we're all broke, and everything that I did on social media was all for free. One client for me could equate to about 20 different posts. I'm going with the buyer today, I'm excited, etc. So I really kept that momentum, and that truly was how I built my business online. I do a lot of free things in order to grow my business. And one of them is Google, and I don't do the PPC ads, but what I do is I registered my business on Google, and in order to do that, you are going to get a snail mail back that you are now a registered business. Every day, or okay, that's a lot, maybe 5 times a week, I am posting on my Google business page. So you know when you're searching for something in Google, you see on the right that the business is over here on the right-hand side. Well, that's when you know your business is registered. So every day I'll either create a post or I'm putting an ad up there, and I also get my client to give me testimonials. Because my thoughts are, people are typing in Halifax Realtor, Halifax Real Estate for sale, and I have that opportunity to come up in that search, and it's free. So that has been a big part of populating my Google business page. I also populate Yelp, and they're after me all the time to spend money, and I don't, and I still get calls from Yelp. So everything that I do is all free. I do have a marketing strategy because every listing that I take could be anywhere between a 6 to 8 month contract, and we do something differently for our clients each month. But a lot of what I do is curate the content in order to populate my social media and what it is that I'm doing. Okay, so the biggest breakthrough, I guess, I've had this year, I was the first realtor in the world to have Messenger on their website. So when we came to Summit last year, I met this gentleman from Ottawa, Canada, and he's like, your social media kicks butt, you need to be doing this chatbot. So we started with our chatbot back, it was November 2017. So my goal is to have 50,000 followers within Halifax that each month that I can populate, my website out to them through Messenger. So we run a contest once a month on Facebook. And when someone actually clicks onto that, it'll go right into your Messenger and say, hi Mike, hi Ray, and it's my robot, Allie, and she's talking to you. You have an opportunity to opt in, opt out of different contests that we run, and as well to stay on top of the real estate market in Halifax. So we have about 6,000 followers now. Again, this is brand spanking new. And I can tell you the story when I sit in front of a listing client, because when you go to your Messenger on your phone, at the very bottom of your phone to the right-hand side is your Discover app. Now, within the U.S., I may not come up, but within Canada, I certainly do come up. I rank higher than IKEA with the artificial intelligence inside Messenger. So in Messenger, in your Discover store, right? So when you go into there, you're going to see all of these businesses who are using AI in order to talk to their people. And it's wonderful. So I get Mr. Seller to do it on their phone on the listing presentation, and it's wild. So those really have been breakthroughs for me this year. Facebook, 99% of what I do on Facebook is for free. But if you're not using artificial intelligence, I feel that's going to be a big game changer. Because I don't need to be your friend on Facebook to talk to you. And, millennials aren't necessarily on Facebook, but they are on Messenger. So that is key for me in my market because, again, our price point, we do get a lot of first-time home buyers. So it's truly been instrumental.
Yeah, I came across this, hold on, I'm not quite done with Sandra just yet, thanks. I came across a stat this morning that said 60% of Facebook messages in the Messenger app are read, which if you compare that to an email open rate, is pretty darn good, right?
And no one deletes Facebook messages because they just keep it and it just sits there. So it's, and what's neat, so people can keep talking to my robot Hallie, and when they want to talk to me, they can. And it's all happening real time in my pocket or in my purse.
What did you say was your inventory? How many months?
Right now I'm at 6.9. So, but
What's it been historically though?
Anywhere between 10 to 16.
Okay.
So
it sounds like a lot of the marketing you were doing with Google reviews, Yelp reviews, things like that, was sort of built around the idea that sellers or buyers would come looking on Google for an agent.
absolutely.
Maybe they've been sitting on the market for a long time or something along those lines, and then you pop up at the top of the list.
Yep.
So it sounds like a lot of what you're doing is really about brand. Is that right?
Correct. I am a total branding agent, and for those of you who didn't know, if you have your business Facebook page, any reviews that you get there will automatically be shown up over on your Google business page. So that was a big thing for me as well. So every time I do a deal, do I always get a testimonial? No. But right now I have 43 from Google, I have a slew on Facebook, and it all is being fed right through my Google. So if you're not on Google, and I know a lot of you depend on Zillow, but I spoke to someone here the other day, and they said they didn't know what Zillow was. So many of your buyers are probably the same, so you should have an active account on your Google.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Sandra. Ray, tell us all about you and everything you do on social and digital and how you guys are achieving such astounding numbers.
So basically, our plan is built around creating a whole bunch of content and retargeting to the people that are interested in our content with calls to action, but not until we've provided a lot of value. So our main play is just value add as much as possible. And we want it to feel even like an unfair exchange, where if we were to list their property, they would think we didn't pay them enough to sell our house. Like we want to give them that much value constantly. So one of the things we do, Tom actually suggested in one of the core groups maybe a year and a half ago, and he talked about doing these housing data things on a whiteboard. And I saw him do it, and I thought we could do something like that. So we started doing what I call the housing data dump. And we started with just 1 or 2 a week. And then I thought, well, there's like 4 or 5 or 6 main cities and areas. And so why don't we just cover 1 per area per month, which made us do it twice a week. And so since we launched the company, it's gotten crazy, so we're not as consistent. However, right now I'm encouraging the other agents of our brokerage to step in and start doing those data dumps in the areas that they want to specialize, in the cities that they want to specialize. So it gets them in front of those clients, and then we promote that for them. But it's probably been the single most effective tool that we've used. And maybe let the cat out of the bag too early, but that was a really good one. But that gave so much value without us asking for anything in return. We didn't say, hey, let's list your house. We just said, if you have any questions, let us know. We would direct them back to their own agent. So we would say, if you're waiting, we got to a situation where about 30% of the market was under contract. And so if they favored a house on Zillow, I let them know that one may not be available, so don't get your hopes up too much. And then I would say, you should really set up a search with your agent that's tied to the MLS, and then doing the element of what we would do for them. I'm always educating them on what sells a property, price, location, and professional presentation of the agent of your property to the buyers. And then we define that for them a little bit in the way that we would. And then they can decide who to use or what to do. So that's called the Housing Data Dump. We started producing some other shows too. So one was called the Real Q&A Show. Back in 2006, I was sitting in bed watching a guy taste wine on YouTube. And I'm sure y'all were too. So I at the time, I was doing some real estate marketing for a company. I wasn't a licensed agent yet, but I thought, man, somebody's got to do this for real estate, but the right context wasn't there. And so I kind of took that away and just kept thinking about what to do. And then that same wine guy started a marketing company and started a show called the Ask Gary Vee Show. And I thought, oh, that's a way better format. So I started something called the Real QA Show. And people will just submit us questions and I answered them. And so we went through one season, we had 15 episodes there, it was a hit, and people started asking, hey, when are you going to do another one of those? So we filmed the second season recently, so we're leaking those out. And now my co-hosts on those are professionals in the area. So I'll have like a lender or a title company, or I had a couple of charities on there. I had a pastor that was a friend of mine from high school. And so we're just getting people from the community to be my co-hosts. They get a chance to kind of promote what they do, so it gives some value for them. And then they ask the question, and they can ask me additional questions about real estate. And it's just a way for us to, there's no asking there. We're not telling people like, let us list your house. It's just, hey, here's what happens if you're considering a pool. Like, here's some things you should think about.
Can you, just real quick, on that, can you give us a picture in terms of format? What is the production like? What does this look like?
So the production on the housing data dump, I'll go back to that one, that's super low. That's as low as possible. And the strategy of our production curve is that we want to spend the most amount of money on evergreen content, and we want to spend the least amount of money on content that's temporary.
What's evergreen content?
So evergreen content is content that you can come back to next year and it's still relevant. Right? So my housing data dump is irrelevant from probably the next month. Nobody's going to look at last month's data and know what's going on. So why would I spend $500 to $1,000 to produce that video when I would have to do that every single month? So we use a webcam. Now we've upgraded, so I have like a lapel mic that's going through a computer. But the first one was like my assistant holding a camera and me in front of a whiteboard. It was shaky and terrible, and we put it out there and people loved it. So we kept doing it over and over and over. Now we've done, I think we're approaching 70 of those now. And that's been a huge hit and zero cost. I mean, it's super
So you're not boosting it or anything like that?
Oh, we're boosting it, yeah. We boosted it especially to the city and to those areas, and we also boosted the people that have interacted with other pieces of our content that live in those areas as well. So
Can you elaborate on that particular point?
Yeah, so in Facebook it has a way to retarget people that are engaging with you. That's something you can YouTube, and they'll show you exactly how to do it step by step, right? But you can retarget people who are engaging with your content in meaningful ways, meaning they're making a comment or liking or watching a video. And so if we have someone in Little Rock that's been watching some of our other videos, then we'll retarget them with the housing data dump to let them know that, oh, by the way, we're in this. So that gives them a little bit of info. And then we'll also retarget the people that watch that with the content that's totally not real estate related. But the Real Q&A show, by contrast, is more higher production. The way we do that is exactly like what Tom said. I literally film 5 episodes in about 2 or 3 hours, and I have several shirts so that my YouTube thumbnails don't all look the same. Like, man, this guy only has 1 shirt. So, and that's actually really important too, because people just think it's the same episode. So we're upgrading.
Cartoon character.
Yeah, this guy. So we are doing that snippet thing. So we've been working on cutting our episodes, because we do about 3 or 4 questions per episode. And we've been working on cutting snippets from that and then releasing it with a link to watch the full episode, because that's definitely evergreen content. But that costs more. I might get all 5 episodes for around $2,000 or so, something like that. Then we also have something called the Home Sweet Arkansas show, and that's the most expensive thing we do. And there's other ways to do this that are a lot cheaper, but we just wanted to do something that was super high production to see if we could do it. And every time we put one of those out, it gets 20 to 50,000 views in our marketplace. It's not really viewed much outside of that. I try not to promote it outside of that. I'm going to keep it as local as possible. We have a separate Facebook page for that show. And we're only 3 or 4 episodes in. I think we have 4 or 5 coming out pretty soon. We produce about 1 a quarter, because that's just kind of what makes sense to us. I wish we could do it more frequently, but the time to do that is difficult. For some of you that are considering doing that and considering a real high production value with that, I will warn you that some of the business owners, when they see how good it is, won't want to be a part of it. So we've had several people say, hey, I thought this was like a little stupid thing, and I'm willing to do that, but that's really good, and my kitchen is a mess, or I don't have an employee that would stand in front of a camera and do that. And so that's kind of kicked out some of the businesses that we want to do. But we're getting more and more response, and every time we put one of those out, we get a couple of businesses and say, hey, you should check out our shop. So that's fun, and we'll also retarget within that framework too. So I don't even say I'm a realtor on that show. One of the things I see a lot is, and I'm not mixing entities, but one of the things I see a lot is when people are trying to do those community videos, they start with, hey, I'm Ray, I'm a real estate agent, and I eat in a lot of restaurants, or something like that, right? Well, to some viewers, that cheapens everything you say after that, because you've just sold them something right up front. And so what I would suggest is if you do talk about real estate, make it an organic conversation with the person that's there, or just save it to the end. Just give the value, and don't make a call to action. You can retarget people that watch that with your call to action. And you will become a local celebrity when people are like, hey, you're that person on that show. And people will start recognizing you. And that's really what you want. Because all your sphere, your friends and family, that's still where most of your business is going to come from. Most of my business personally still comes from my sphere, but they're all coming through Facebook. They're all coming through the shows that we put out, and the videos that we put out, and the ads that we produce. But it's still my sphere.
What's your, just real quick, what's your slogan on your website? I really like it. So what if?
I can't remember it. It was good though. I wrote it.
It's really good.
I think it was like, what if everything's changed or something like that? You're talking about
No, it was better than that. It was something along, I don't remember it verbatim, but it was something to the tune of, what if your real estate agent operated more like a media company?
Oh yeah. So last year I got to speak to Tom X about that because I kind of took that on as a mantra.
Yeah.
And I said there that in the future, real estate agents will be a media company that specializes in real estate and the community. We won't just be a real estate agent. And so after I said that, I thought, wow, that was good. So I put that out there, and it's really a good definition of what we're about and what we do as a company. And it kind of lets people know up front, hey, this is who we are, this is how we operate, and this is why we can get it done.
Awesome. Sandra, where should somebody start if they want to get where you are now? Where should they start?
Facebook.
Real close.
Oh, sorry.
We want to hear your wonderful voice.
I'll put on a big tech accent. But one of the things that's really simple to do on Facebook is Facebook effects. And it's when you're on Facebook and you know how sometimes you'll see hearts, something around the picture, you want to create this frame? Well, I've created frames and they're free. And when they're being used in the public, it's Sandra Piper, Halifax Real Estate. So I created one, what was it, Star Trek or Star Wars that came out? Sorry. And so I got one of those, and I added that as a frame. And I added it as a frame. And, people were using it all over the place. And then I had one, the tragically hip, Gord Downey passed away last year. He's a really big rock band in Canada. And I had something with Gord Downey on it, and people were using that frame. And I am truly a branding agent, I think, more so than content. And people were using it. And then we have the Toronto Maple Leafs, or we had Sidney Crosby, with Philadelphia. And I was just grabbing hockey logos. And actually now if you go to my Deals and Heels page, you see that I have Summit as my profile pic. So anybody here who wanted to use that, you would just go there and you could try it. And then your profile pic now is with the Summit on it, and it's my marketing, Deals and Heels, Sandra Pike. So I like to do a lot of passive marketing, and so that when I do go out in the community, oh, you're that girl, oh, you're Sandra, and it's a great way. And then the leads just are truly, really organic for me. And when I look at where my business came from in 2017, I went on 99 listing appointments, and I listed 73 of them. And it was from my sphere, and then I had realtor referrals are huge for me. I had 27 last year. And the next, like the third and the fourth thing for my business is Google and Facebook. And all of what I do, there's no magic. I mean, what you see, what I put up on my Instagram, and I think the biggest thing that most agents miss is being consistent. And I don't have no marketing guru who's sitting at a desk every day creating the stuff. It's me doing it. And if you look at some of my higher-end listings that I do, I've created luxury brochures that are digitally online with links, and that's me sitting at home. And, I'm a pretty busy agent. I've listed 57 homes since January, all resale. But I still take that time because when it's sunny out, I'm working, but when I schedule my time off, that's when I take my time off. And I'm very diligent about that. And I do have that work-life balance, but it's easy. You just got to do it. And if you overthink it, you truly won't do it.
It sounds like really, you are running Renick. Top of mind awareness, people
Yes.
think of you and they work with you. Thank you. Mike, I'm going to give you the last hurrah here in the interest of time. What's the one takeaway people, like, if they want to get to where you guys are, based upon the strategies you described, what do they need to do now? What needs to be in place in order to get there?
That's an easy question. I came here today because Jason said I could be brutally honest. I'm going to answer that question from the heart. How many of you right now feel overwhelmed with everything you've learned over the last 2.5 days? Because I come in. There's only one solution to that. 6 years ago, I became a Tom Ferry coaching student. And through the coaching, and Jason didn't know I was going to say this, but I mean this from my heart. We wouldn't be where we are today without that guidance. Tom Ferry has coaches and mentors and people in his life. All of this stuff that we're talking about, agents have to do. It's a must do. Social media is where it's going to be at. Your coach can help take you on that journey, and that's what's important. That's how to get started. That's how to take the next level. And I got to tell you, in 1 year, it transformed our business. And we haven't let up yet, and I'll be coaching until I'm 106 years old.
Love it, Mike. Love it. Hey, can we give it up for these three awesome men? We're going to let you guys escape the room so you can get to the next session. Please use the side doors and not the rear doors, or it's going to be like crazy starting. I don't know, it's going to be nuts. Side doors